I know it seems like the dogs are my whole entire life, but that's really not all that goes on here on the farm. Don't tell them that, though. So today I wanted to share my water room. This is an addition that I built on the backside of the kitchen, and it's up on blocks. It has a double sheathed floor with insulation in it. All of the walls are insulated, and what it does is we collect melted water off the roof, and you'll see there it goes down into the water room, and there's a filtration system in there for that. And then inside, of course, all of the walls and ceiling are insulated, and we have 5 55-gallon barrels in here that collect the water off of the roof, and it's also piped into the kitchen, and we have a heater in here to keep things from getting too cold. We are finishing up some insulation on the door. As you can see, each of the barrels are connected at the top and the bottom. They have valves on the bottom so I can control water flow and regulate how much water is set aside for the kitchen and then how much water is set aside for the animals. So that's a really important aspect that I wanted to incorporate into this when I built it. I've kind of made this up as I go. So if I shut the valve off at the bottom, then the barrel has to fill up before it will overflow into the next barrel. So all the barrels are connected in a linear series, and the very first barrel is connected to the house. So depending on which valve I shut off depends on how much water we have in reserve for the house. Then on the last barrel, not only do I have an overflow here, you'll see for the water room entirely, because that has happened, but I also have a frost-free spigot that I use to water the animals. So at the moment, I have it shut off so that there are 2 barrels in reserve for the house and 3 barrels set aside to water animals with. And of course, if at any time I can open a valve and let water equalize into the house barrels or into the animal barrels, depending on how water gets used and how much precipitation we get. The first year that I did this, we used regular rain gutters for our collection, and the snow and ice basically took them right out. So this year, I changed things up, and we are using PVC pipe with a slit cut in it, and it is fitted over the end of the metal roofing, and you can see what happens in this instance. Because of the curl, the ice comes up over the top of the PVC and can still slide off the roof if it needs to without taking out my gutters. So I'm really pleased with how that looks like it's going to work for this winter. You can see that this is a test piece. It is a 10-foot section, and if this holds up through the winter well, I will be extending that along the rest of the roof line to collect more water as we go. I also am going to put some heated strips along the roof to help the snow and ice melt into the water room on this side. And if it continues to work well, I will probably gutter the other side of the house and bring that around into the water room as well. So I've tried not to do it all at once until I see how it's all working, because like I said, I'm kind of making it up as we go, because there wasn't anything I found online that worked for our situation. So I just wanted to share with you what we've done so far.